Every 4 years, the political calendar hands markets a gut punch they somehow never see coming, and right now, we're sitting right in the middle of one. We're talking about the midterm year, the forgotten middle child of the presidential cycle, and it has a surprisingly violent history with your portfolio. Here's the thing most people don't realize. The presidential cycle isn't just political theater. It's an economic heartbeat, with a rhythm so consistent it almost feels rigged. Think of it like a song with 4 verses. In the second verse, the midterm year, is where the beat drops out and everyone panics. The sitting party, whatever their stripe, tends to lose congressional seats in midterms. This isn't opinion. It's happened in roughly 30 of the last 38 midterm elections. Markets hate uncertainty the way cats hate water. So when legislative gridlock starts looming, institutional money gets cautious, and volatility spikes like your uncle's blood pressure at Thanksgiving. What makes it even spicier is that midterm years historically produce the single worst average market returns of the 4-year cycle. But, and this is the twist, they also set up the single best 12-month recovery period that follows. So it's not a trap, it's a spring being coiled. We saw this in 1994 when the Fed hiked rates aggressively, the Democrats got shellacked in Congress, and the S&P 500 basically went nowhere all year, only to rip higher through 1995 and 1996. Same playbook, different cast, different costumes. The psychological damage of a midterm year is real though, when headlines scream about gridlock, investigations, or policy reversals. Even the most convicted investor starts second-guessing themselves. Sam Stovall of CFRA once noted that the market stumbles into the midterm valley and then climbs the wall of worry, which is a polite way of saying everyone freaks out and then feels silly about it later. Now let's bust the biggest myth here, that midterm turbulence means you should go to cash, hide under the bed, and wait it out. That's exactly the wrong instinct, because the data shows that selling during midterm drawdowns means you almost always miss the recovery, which tends to begin before anyone has the confidence to call the bottom. What history actually teaches us is boring, unglamorous, and brutally effective. Stay invested, reduce position sizes if the volatility is genuinely affecting your sleep, and resist the urge to make sweeping macro bets based on political outcomes you cannot predict. Process beats prophecy every single time. The irony is almost poetic. The years that feel the most dangerous are statistically the years that reward patient capital the most generously. You're essentially being paid a risk premium for tolerating discomfort that most retail investors cannot stomach long enough to collect. And look, the community of serious investors knows this. Forums, fund managers, and financial historians all reference the midterm bottom, the way sailors reference the tides, because it's just that consistent. The pattern doesn't guarantee anything, but it rhymes loudly enough that ignoring it feels like arrogance. The deeper philosophical truth here is that markets move in cycles, the way seasons do. And every midterm year is essentially autumn. Things look like they're dying, everything feels uncertain, but the system is just resetting for the next growth phase. Fighting the season doesn't change when winter ends. What separates the investors who compound wealth over decades from the ones who break even is not intelligence or access. It's sizing, discipline, and the willingness to look foolish in the short run. The midterm year is basically a filter that removes the impatient from the equation. So whether the political environment gets messier, whether we get gridlock or surprises, whether volatility spikes or grinds, your job isn't to predict it. Your job is to be positioned rationally so that any outcome is survivable and most outcomes are profitable. Comfort with uncertainty isn't weakness, it's the whole strategy. The mid-cycle doesn't care about your conviction, your thesis, or how many hours you spent reading economic reports. It only rewards those who size their positions so they could stay in the game long enough to be right. Discipline is the only edge that doesn't decay. Whether you're thinking about deploying capital into real estate, managing a renovation project, or structuring your next investment with the right lending partner, we can help you get started. Check out our links in the description below.